Check-in experience was an absolute shit show. He said I should come check in. This guy here, this guy right there. That's what I mean. I knew it. And this is Air India. It is still like a super chaotic airline.
Today I'm sharing my chaotic and embarrassing ground experience flying Air India. 3 years after the massive celebrated TATA takeover, the airline seems to be as unorganized as ever, and millions of Indians starting to question whether Air India can ever be fixed. Not a week goes by without another scandal involving the Indian flag carrier, and I also starting to lose hope that it will ever be fixed and can find back to old glory. So please join me on a trip from Delhi all the way to Bangkok. If you're new to the channel, my name is Josh Cahill, a multi-award winning aviation YouTuber with over 500 million views, and I love to hold airlines accountable for the promises they make. My favorite hobby? Featuring unique airlines from all over the world. I organized Afghanistan's first all-female flight, and I'm also proudly banned from Qatar Airways. Last year I booked myself on Air India's first Airbus A350 flight, and while it was all nice and fancy, it never reflected the reality of Air India's current state. 3 years since the TATA takeover, the airline still struggles to deliver a proper ground experience, clean and hygienic planes, and proper customer service from what other industry experts claims. So here I am at Delhi International Airport checking in for my Air India flight today.
Guys, namaste or a beautiful good morning from Delhi, flying the new Air India, brand new Airbus A320 Neo all the way to Bangkok. So let's check in. Bangkok?
Bangkok.
Yeah? Yeah, thank you. Because there's one person and there's no line.
And there we go, Air India only has one check-in counter for international flights. No enforcing of lines and no system at all. While other airlines in Delhi have a proper system in place, Air India's check-in experience is just total unorganized mess, with constantly people jumping the queue without any staff enforcing any rules.
Bangkok.
Bangkok?
Yeah. That's domestic.
Yeah. No worries, it's okay. I'll just do checking.
Alright. So for international flights in the entire airport here in Delhi, they only have one counter. And for those who've been to India before know that queues don't exist here. Bangkok.
Okay, so this is for domestic?
No. Your colleague told me I should come here. I was over there and he said I should come check in. This guy here. This guy right there.
Harshit.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
ये इंटरनेशनल
कहाँ जा रहे हैं? Flying to?
Bangkok.
Bangkok. Bangkok को सर्व करना सिर्फ भेजना है.
Yeah, just the one back.
Make sure no electronic items.
No, nothing. No.
Your destination, gate number, flight number, seat, departure time, boarding time, date.
So the check-in experience was an absolute shit show here in Delhi. For international flight, you have one counter, literally one counter where queues don't matter. And then you have 5,000 counters for domestic flights. And the guy said, go to domestic flights, check in there. And they didn't want to check me in, but, and then I had to find the guy again because the lady said, no, this is domestic, you can't check in here. And then he came back and he checked me in himself. So the ground experience so far, bit of a shit show.
But if you think that things are going to improve from here, you are utterly wrong. This is going to be a great case study of how not to handle a ground experience as an airline.
Two years since the TATA takeover of Air India, few things have changed. Introduced a new livery, which you barely see though, such as the new uniform, but then as well, you only see them on just a handful of flights. They're still wearing their old uniform. Surprises me the most though is that there's still a lot of videos emerging how filthy and dirty it is on Air India planes. You know, those videos that we used to see when it was a state airline. You know, even though those planes are old, I thought with the Tata takeover, a new spirit has arrived, and especially they would have a different focus on cleanness, because that was the biggest problem, and that eventually destroyed the brand Air India as well, with cockroaches in food and always like broken parts and pieces, and you bought any Air India plane 3 years ago, they were in awful conditions. Yeah, so still surprised that those videos are surfacing and being published. And when I talk to Indians, I think that honeymoon time is over. And most of them say it doesn't go fast enough. I mean, of course, it's a massive airline and it takes a lot of time, especially now with the merger with Vistara as well. But yeah, the feedback of Indians isn't very pleasing, to be honest. So guys, just to give you an example what a mess Air India still is, I just got an email 1 minute ago. It says boarding gate announced. It's 4A. However, on the board it says 22A, and both gates are separated by a half-an-hour walk. So, and some of you may say, oh, this is Air India bashing, don't do this. Now, it doesn't happen with any other airline in the world that you get an email announcing a gate and then it's the complete opposite gate. It doesn't happen like this. So something for Air India to fix. So Air India also sends you updates to your WhatsApp. And here says boarding gate announced for flight AI 332, gate 4A as well. Now imagine you just went through security, you checked in, you get an email that says gate 4A, you get a WhatsApp that says gate 4A, and you're not kind of the person that checks the departure board, you just trust what the airline actually says, because 99% it always works out from the airlines that I've been traveling with. But now imagine you're stressed, you head to gate 4A, and then you realize, oh no, it's 22B. And those gates are separated by a half-an-hour walk. And in the end, that is creating troubles for the airlines, because most likely passengers will need half an hour to get to the date. It might cause delay. It causes discomfort for the passenger as well, because it's the last thing that you want to sprint through in the airport. Yeah, so just bringing it up because maybe someone from Air India is watching as I say, oh, something is wrong here. Why are we sending out the wrong gates? Especially when you show up to the airport 4 hours early, as I'm a very good passenger trying to have a smooth journey. Now I sit here and think like, I rather should double check again. And what if they change? Then I have to hurry back all the way to 4A or elsewhere. So yeah, it's just creating stress, unnecessary stress. And then passengers will be uneasy, they will be annoyed. And who gets to experience then all that anger? Who will be the target? The crew, who had nothing to do with this, because people be annoyed, and then crew have to listen to the passengers. Why is this? We almost missed our flight because you guys screwed up, which is right, but then the crew is like, oh damn, this is why I hate my job sometimes. So one thing comes with another.
But also Air India's WhatsApp support that spammed me with contradicting gate information turned out to be super useless.
Didn't I tell you? Now I'm at 22B, right? Now they changed to 1B, half an hour from here. From one end back to the other end. That is such a joke. And that's what I mean. I knew it. And this is Air India. It is still like a super chaotic airline. Why? 4B, 22B, now 1B. What's this all about?
I then made my way to yet another gate, and now imagine your annoying Indian auntie Amita would be traveling with you, and how much she would complain that Air India doesn't get its shit together, getting ready to tackle the cabin crew to the ground and causing a major scene. Do you really want this to happen? I don't think so either.
Hey guys, look at it. A blast from the past. 2 777s of Jet Airways. And I think they've been sitting there for like 7 or 8 years now. Every time I come to Delhi, I see them and I just miss Jet Airways. It was actually my very first video that kind of went viral. And a lot of my Indian followers, especially, they come from my Jet Airways video. Well, I had a terrible, terrible flight. But that was kind of the end of Jet Airways. They were just about to die and they wouldn't care anymore. They had no budget, they had no money, crew was grumpy. It was just quite a shit show. So I got to experience them, unfortunately, at the wrong time. But I also think this is the biggest problem of Air India, that they don't have competition locally. I mean, obviously the budget airlines such as Indigo, SpiceJet, Akasa are giving him quite a hard time. But when it comes to international flights or a full service carrier, which Vistara was, and now if the merger is gone, that is going to be problematic in the long run. That is at least my guess, because you need a strong competitor in your own country, especially when it comes to international flights, and they keep you on your toes, and I think that if it wasn't for Vistara, Air India wouldn't have been bought back by Tata. We shall see. So if you are a very wealthy businessman based in India, why not reintroduce Jet Airways? I mean, that failed. How about Kingfisher? Or maybe something completely new.
Guys, a lot of you have been asking me about my keyring. So right now I'm running a combo deal where you can get all 3 of them, the green one, the black one, and the red one in a package. So check out the link in the description box below and get your Cahill keyring.
Boarding 320 Neo. I think, at least.
And here we are, welcome on board Air India's Airbus A320neo with 12 recliner seats in business class, and yes, they look very dated, as well as 150 seats in economy class, where we are going to sit on today's journey to Bangkok. Also, boarding was quite heavily distracted by ground staff that was still on board with wheelchairs blocking the aisle. Usually that should be done before everyone gets on board, and this just adds to the unorganized ground experience of Air India.
So guys, here we are. Welcome on board Air India, and as predicted, obviously with a little delay because people had troubles finding their gate. I wonder why.
So I am disabled for 20 years. So be careful, be nice. Now what happened to them? What happened to my suitcase? I know. I'm very bad.
I think your tweets are very rude.
I'm sorry.
Yes, okay.
Does it make any sense when I say I'm sorry?
Apologize and accept.
Yeah, I will apologize. You have to go to your feet.
You don't need to say that.
Okay, next.
So a little bit of drama here, but also welcome on board Air India. And obviously delayed. We're supposed to be airborne already, but due to the whole gate confusion, we only started to board late, and there's still missing passengers. A bit of a mess here.
But what is Air India's economy class like? Well, the legroom is non-existent and the product was worn and uncomfortable. And as expected, we had to wait for quite some time for all the passengers, which were sitting at the wrong gates due to all the misleading gate informations. And all of this, guess what, could have been avoided. With a good 90-minute delay, we finally pushed back for our journey to Bangkok, and you would think Air India would have had it all figured out after 3 years, but no, it's still the same mess as always. However, right now is probably a good time to check out my Patreon page for some extra perks, such as joining my WhatsApp group, getting your Cahill keyring, your name in the credits, or early access to my videos. The link is in the description box below. A little while after takeoff, the crew got to work and started to offer beverages, and everyone was also handed a pack of crunchy corn as a starter. Later the crew came around to offer mains, and you could choose between a vegetarian option or chicken rice, which I decided to try. The presentation left a lot to be desired, and also the food quality was below average. It also took forever for the crew to clear the trays. However, I found the crew to be very polite, and given that they had to deal with a lot of drama and delays on this flight, they tried their very best to manage the situation. For that, I give them a lot of credit. And of course, the flight wouldn't be complete without the inconsiderate passenger sitting behind me who decided to use my seat as an armrest. What would you do in this very situation? Let me know in the comment section below.
Thank you.
So, and that was my flight on Air India. And let's be honest, it has been over 2 years since Tata has taken over. And I was always someone who said, give them time. They're going to figure it out, but it will take a little bit to fix the current issues. However, you still see a lot of videos emerging, a lot of problems occurring, which used to be the old ones when it comes to cabin cleanness, when it comes to the ground experience, when it comes to delay, and they keep on coming. And my ground experience today was an absolute disaster. And I have been on over 200 airlines, but never have I encountered such issues before, especially when it comes to the ground experience. If you only have one counter open for the international check-ins, and then you be sent to the domestic one, and nobody tells you that you can't actually do this and they don't want to check you in, and that then creates a domino effect. People will be lost, then you get to your gate, and then you get a lot of confusing gate information from Air India, from the airport, which then causes delays. And who has to listen to all this anger? The cabin crew. And then they hate their jobs, and then they get angry, and then they don't give you the experience that you want. So today's experience was quite of a letdown, and I know Air India is in this transition period and they're still working on the issues, but it doesn't seem to get better. And that is something where I wonder, will Tata ever be able to finish and successfully accomplish this turnaround? Or is Air India just a project that can't be done? You know, that is what I'm asking myself. What I experienced today is that there is so much work still to be done, and they need to ask themselves, why is it? Why do we still face these issues? Very simple issues that can be easily fixed. And I really hope that this video, or what I've experienced today, adds. I know there's a long list of videos and problems that you have to work on, but I feel this time where we should be gentle on Air India, and I was very vocal, and I said, give Air India the time. They used to be a terrible, terrible airline, one of the worst in the world, and now they came back and it created this beautiful, like, feel-good stories, and Indians could not think about a bigger and greater wedding than the reunification of Tata and Air India. Their baby is coming back. But now it is the time where we have to get a little harsher and have to say, hey, Air India, what's happening? Why is it not happening? And why are these issues still there? I think there's still a lot of work to be done. And yeah, I'm kind of losing faith that whether they can really manage it and turn this airline into what it used to be one of the best in the world, but I know what the environment is like in India, and I know it's a difficult space to operate, but that was my experience. Nothing more, nothing less. And I would like to hear your opinion as well in the comment section below. How was your Air India experience recently? Do you think they are actually improving? Do you think there is hope? Do you think the job can be done? I would love to hear your thoughts on this matter as well. This should be it from my side. If you want to get one of my Cahill keyrings, check out the link in the description box below, or be part of my WhatsApp group, which is full of cool F geeks. A lot of friendships have been created in there. Have early access to my videos or your name in the credits, or a lot of behind the scenes content as well. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the dislike button if you haven't. And I guess I'll see you guys next week on another aviation adventure.